Well, that was clever. I forgot to film a little intro and take this as an outro too, because I don't believe I made an outro, but we're not sure. We're talking about books today and reading, and I wanted to show you what I what I do to read and what I like to read. Sorry for the shaking. I have it just in my hand. So about reading, and I hope you enjoy. And then I do like reading, and I really love the touch and feel and look of physical books. But reading physical books is more difficult for me because of brain damage, but also my eyesight. I have poor eyesight since I was born, actually, and for a long time I could read well, but last years it really started to decline. I still can read, but it takes a lot of energy. So the option that you have here in the Netherlands, at least, then is what's called a daisy reader. And these little devices are made for people with dyslexia, for instance, or people that are blind, so they can't read physical books unless they are fluent in Braille, and not every blind person is fluent in Braille. So then these devices came into the world. It are what they call spoken books. So it's not completely the same as an audiobook that you would get from Audible or other similar types of apps. There are small differences. I must say I never really listened to a true audiobook, but my understanding is that you can't control the reading pace. And so for people with brain damage like me, or I think people with dyslexia maybe, need a slower reading pace to really take in the words and hear what is read to them. So this is the reading pace, down and up. This is reading the sound level, so up and down. And this is this is tone of voice. So you can make the voice deeper or higher, which sounds strange, but I do need sometimes. So you arrange that with that volume, and that's the reading pace, down and up. This can do a lot more, but I never learned how to do them. Some people can claim them from health insurance, but my health insurance wouldn't cover this device, and when you buy them new, they're somewhere between 400 and 700 euros. So that's a big investment, but this is starting to get old already. I bought it a few years ago, secondhand. I was very lucky to find one really nearby, and these people had gotten this for their dyslexic daughter, but she didn't use it. She refused using it, so decided to sell it for just very cheap to me, and I was very happy to have it. I read a lot, I listen a lot, so that was very helpful for me. And this device works with CDs. Let's see, because I will flash my address. Yeah. My address is on top. This is all the information about the book, how long it takes. This is a YA novel that I wanted to listen to. And we have a library online where you can subscribe to, and then you can borrow these books. They also make Braille for people who like to read in Braille. They also make big letter books. So they do different formats, but for now this works for me the best. So you put in the CD here in the here, and it eats it, and then it will start telling you, hey, I'm this book. And you are starting this book, and then by this numbers and stuff you can scroll through pages or chapters, but I rarely use that. I don't use that, but I enjoy reading a lot. Sometimes I think, oh, well, I love the look of certain books or book covers. I would love to read, so I would want to buy a book, but that's silly. Books are not quite as cheap as they once were, and you still use valuable resources by reading physical books, and that's not bad when you really read them. But when you hoard books and you never touch them because you can't read them, I think that's not what you should do. So I decided to go this route, and then I get my pretty book cover fixes from YouTube, BookTube. I'm not a TikTok, but I hear that a lot of young people are book TikTokers these days. So if I need my fix, I would get it, so to say. And I could always go to a bookstore and browse through it. Luckily, we still have some physical bookstores around. I don't know for how long, because they are a dying breed, so to say. But that's how it works. And that's how I love to read. Then this. Here is my cookbook shelf. I have way more cookbooks and baking books, but I really noticed I'm not a baker. I'm never going to be a baker. So I decided recently that all my baking books were to go. So I let go of all my baking books and all my baking supplies. I only have 2 small bake tins, just in case I want to make a cake, but I think I'm not. So all these books are actually the books we use. I'm the cooker in our household. My husband never learned to cook, so he doesn't know exactly how to cook. Once he wants to be a good man, and he tried to make me breakfast in bed, and he brought an egg. He cooked an egg. So he put it on my lap in bed, and I said, oh, well, thank you. And I knew already what to expect. So I asked him, hey, sweetie, how long did you cook the egg? And then he said, oh, just 2 minutes. So I laughed very loud. And I said, it's very sweet of you, but I'm not going to eat that egg. It's still raw. So that was very sweet. He at least tried. And he actually is the one that loves to do our barbecue. He knows how to do that. So when we do a barbecue together, he is the one barbecuing. And so there are some special books in here. This is a book made by people I know, and it's a special book made for people with brain damage. It has very detailed subscriptions of everything, you know, of descriptions, you call that, and all pictures. It's in very small steps with all pictures with it, so people are able to cook themselves, because a lot of people with brain damage that acquire brain damage on a later in life, they actually don't know how to cook them anymore, or lost some abilities in their motor skills, so to say, or their brain doesn't understand the written recipes anymore, and they need extra support in that. And that was the idea behind this little book. So this is barbecue. I love me some Gordon Ramsay, so when I saw this book for very cheap, I bought Gordon Ramsay, then this and this. And didn't we have another one? No. I thought we had another one, but apparently not. These are two books from a grocery store. They made them. They are lovely small recipes, not too difficult. These set of books are made by a brand of potato products. And they make a book every year, about every year. And I subscribed to the first one, and then the rest just kept coming for free. So I'm curious if I'm going to get another one in September or October. These small ones, they are all bought from like Target kind of store, you know, the American Target or that kind of store. They had a whole series of these books, and so I have the whole range. That's a little one for little cooking pots. That are my binders for slow cooker recipes that we found online, and recipes non-slow cooker related, so recipes that belong in the oven or some kind of things like that. And there's my big slow cooker book, and I love it. We eat slow cooker here about 3 times a week. So I really enjoy it. And that last little binder is a binder that my mother-in-law gave me when my husband and me got married, and she had put it all together years and years, so I decided to keep it as a keepsake. My mother-in-law died in December, so I thought it was good to keep that book in our store. So that's my good books. So for children's books, I have Kleine Bever and the Echo. So small beaver, I think. And the Echo, it's about a little young beaver that's all alone, and he feels all alone, and he shouts over the big lake where he lives, and then he hears somebody saying back hello too. And he steps into a boat because he thinks maybe there's a friend to play with. And he meets a lot of new friends. So that's a cute little book. The Christmas book for toddlers and smaller children. I haven't read it yet. I bought it last year. So with Christmas we will read this. this is a little book. It's a duo book, actually. There are two of my favorite books from when I was a little girl. The first one is The Eend op de Pot, or The Duck on My Potty. And my ultimate favorite when I was little, Mijn beer heeft altijd wat. So my bear always has something going on. It's a very cute story. Then let me see. These three are, no, four even I have, are all about the same little girl. I think this is the first one. It's about a girl that her name is Lieselotte. And every time she has a little adventure, every book she has a little new adventure. So here she learns to go on the potty, and here she goes sleeping at her grandfather and grandmother's house, and here she has her birthday, and here she has swimming lessons. So let me see. Then the rest of the books are, this is a collection of short stories and some little poetry for children by one of the Netherlands' famous children's book author, Annie M.G. Schmid. And she was, I think still to this day was a very good children's book author and read by many. But this is a collection of her. I had it as a child, then I lost it for a long time. And one day I was browsing our secondhand store bookshelves, and I found a copy, so I took it with me. Who knows me knows that I love my gnomes. So this is a book about gnomes, the life of gnomes, and it is written and drawn by Rien Poortvliet and Wil Huigen. So that's a story, and this is also not my original copy, but I had it as I was a child, Jip and Janneke. But I don't own the original copy anymore that I had. And also this was a thrift store find. I was very happy to find it in the thrift store. And yeah, it wasn't in the best condition, but most of these books aren't in the best condition when you find them in the thrift store. They are read and read and read again. Also, these stories are by Annie M.G. Schmid, and the drawings are by a pretty famous Dutch or Belgium, I don't know, artist Fiep Westendorp. And this is all about the two characters that you see here, Jip and Janneke, and their little dog and cat. So that was, my dad read out of that book a lot to me. And this is also a book about gnomes that I found. But I actually believe that what I did, but I'm not sure, it could be another book. No, it was another book. I thought I wanted to start this book to art journal, but it was another book that I took for an art journal. So this is actually a book on gnomes also. it contains child verses and little children's songs. So that's very cute for the girls, you know. Sometimes I just like to read for my girls. I know they're not real, but I enjoy a lot of reading for my girls. It gives me calmness. It calms my brain down. It's just very nice to do. So. And what I do like to read, and it's better if I look at you for telling you that, is I read a lot of YA, so young adult books. I do sometimes adult books, but most of the times the adult books I read are about true stories. So to say, last I read a book about New Year's fires in the year 2001. There was a big disaster in Volendam at New Year's night, and a cafe burned down with a lot of people in it, and a lot of people got very hurt, and a lot of people died that night. And I remembered the things I saw on the telly and that kind of stuff, but I never exactly knew what actually happened. So I decided to listen to that book, and it told me the story of how that came to be, and it tells the story of one of the people that got severely hurt, and how she had to recover and how she deals with it in today's society. So that kind of books I do read in adult form, but for the rest I usually keep to my YA novels. I don't do fantasy. I just get confused as soon as they start reading. And it's silly because I loved my fairy tales when I was young, but for some reason in adult life I can't make any sense of fantasy. So I don't do that, but I love some romance or some, how do you call it, coming of age. So when teens grow up and they start to fall in love, or they have to start to learn to deal with adult life, that kind of things I really enjoy. And that's that for now, I think. Do you like to read? What kind of things do you read? Do you audio read, or do you read physical books, and why? I'm just very curious. And I thought this was maybe a fun thing to talk to you about today. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you very soon. We're going to have just one more week of very hot weather, and after that, when the weather cools, I know for sure my energy will bounce up. So I will come back with some more videos. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.